Hi there. Hope you've been having a good time. I've been here in Arizona for a couple weeks now. I've been doing a lot of urban stealth camping, different places, and I'm finding that
For the day I break these chains, I'm bound for the life of the simple things.
Good morning, everybody. I got a lot of stuff to get done today. I need to update my resume and start getting it swung out to everybody. Of course, last night, being in an urban area, not knowing everything real well just yet, I selected a Walmart for crashing last night. It's kind of the easy one to go to. Very rarely do I ever see anybody or hear anybody with any problems with it. So I'm gonna grab my computer bag. I'm gonna head over to the Starbucks. It's right around the corner here, walking distance, and I'm gonna start hammering out my day. We are now at the point of 2 weeks since I started my weight loss challenge, and I'm getting ready to weigh in. It's starting to get a little bit harder. I should probably tell you guys what I'm doing. It's pretty simple. I'm not really doing much of anything to my diet. So what I've been doing to work on my weight loss to start off with is I'm doing what's known as a combination of time restricted eating and intermittent fasting. So I'm narrowing in the window of the time period I'm allowed to eat into a 4-hour window. So each day there's only 4 hours that I'm allowing myself to eat in. And those 4 hours, I'm making sure they're in the daytime, because humans, our circadian rhythms we're nocturnal, we're a daytime species. So our digestive tract and our liver, the whole works better during the day, light hours. So that's what I'm doing. And then restricting it all the way to 4 hours. Instead of, I could restrict it to like 6 or even 8 is pretty good as long as it's daylight hours in the time restricted eating. But I'm restricting it to 4 hours so that what I'm doing is I'm intermittent fasting. And so what happens about hour 13 to hour 15, since you've eaten, you have a situation where that period in there, you start having a spikes and human growth hormone naturally. And by hour 20, which is when I'm starting to eat again, that spike has gone up to at least 1,300 to 2,000%. So that's a huge spike in human growth hormone. So human growth hormone does a few things for us. Obviously, it makes you grow, especially when you're younger. But what it does do is it protects your muscle mass. So when you're losing weight, you're less likely to lose muscle mass. It also shifts your body naturally, hormonally, over to burning fat for energy rather than using carbohydrates or protein. Your body will use some protein. Once you get past that 36-hour stage, it'll start scavenging for some protein for gluconeogenesis. But I usually don't go that long, so I probably don't have to worry about it. And that spike in human growth hormone is going to protect my lean muscle mass, and primarily choose to use body fat for energy, sending ketone bodies for my brain for energy instead of glucose. Now, it's been working pretty darn well. I'm still eating the same junk. When it starts to plateau, starts to plateau for me, I'm going to stop eating junky food, and I'm gonna start doing a diet program where not so much like a calorie restriction, but I'm gonna switch over to foods that should be better for my health. And I'll start doing that when I start plateauing from doing this intermittent fasting. And I'm probably gonna do something that's not quite ketogenic, but it's going to be lower in carbohydrate, it's going to be higher in protein and fat, and that should help prevent me from getting an insulin spike. I got some really cool information that I found from another website. I'm going to start actually studying my own body chemistry and find out what causes large spikes in insulin, which is what causes storage of fat. And I'm going to find out which foods, for me personally, actually do not cause a spike in insulin and which foods do, and I'll avoid the foods that cause the spike in insulin. Surprisingly, it can be very different for people. Some people can have no spike at all, say from like ice cream, and then others can end up having a huge spike in insulin from ice cream. It's very interesting. So let's get on to the weigh-in. I'm pretty excited because from what I can tell in the mirror, I'm still losing fat. I can start telling that my shoulders are getting less fat in them. So I'm pretty sure I've lost a decent amount of weight. So let's rock. All right, so let's get on the scale here. Says 282.2. Let's try that one more time, just in case. All right, let's get on the scale here. So that's 282 pounds. I started this whole thing off at 297.8 pounds, and that was my very first weigh-in. My last weigh-in, as you see here, had me at 290.6 pounds, and now I'm down to 282.2 pounds. So in this last week, I've dropped 8.4 pounds. So I'm sporting almost 16 pounds of weight loss. Almost 16 pounds of weight loss since I started this whole thing. And it's only been 2 weeks. So this time restricted eating and intermittent fasting has been doing a great thing for me. I'm pretty excited about it, and I'll check in with you next week on it. I've been here in Arizona for a couple weeks now. I've been doing a lot of urban stealth camping, different places, and I'm finding that as long as you rotate, and I kind of already knew this, but as long as you rotate spots, you're not gonna have much of a problem here in Phoenix anyways. Most of these spread out cities like Phoenix or Houston, you know, if you're in those spots, as long as you just find, you know, say 10, 15 places to rotate so that, you know, your vehicle's never there more than a couple times a month, nobody's gonna really notice you. It's when you stay longer than that one night, or, you know, one time when I had the GMC motorhome, I was at a Walmart and I parked the RV there to go to work, and I worked all day at work, and then I came back and I crashed that night in the RV, and then I went the next day to work and I came and I crashed the next night. That's a big no-no. The next morning we had a Walmart asking us to leave. So that was in Orlando, where it's a little more touchy. But even there, I mean, as long as we came kind of later and to wherever you were gonna stay for the night and left kind of early from that spot, you really don't have a problem with it. Some of the places that I'm finding here in Phoenix that work really well, like I haven't been bothered yet, so that's nice. There's this one like side road right by this trailer park that's been working pretty good, and I think it's probably been working so well just because nobody ever really notices it, and it's like a drive further in from the main road, so I doubt the police even check on it much, as long as I don't sit there all the time, you know, and that's just there at night sometimes. But Fry's, I'm finding Fry's Food and Drug is a good spot. Like, I haven't tried to stay more than one night at a time at one, but there's so many of them. There's just tons of them here in Phoenix, and so ends up being a really good spot. Denny's, Sherry's, And if you run into an IHOP that's 24 hours, like most 24-hour spots are actually a pretty good place. I mean, I don't even have any problems like with 24-hour fitness or Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness. It's usually all right to stay there because it's kind of normal. So I've just been kind of rotating parking lots and job hunting, trying to keep the miles off the van. So I haven't really left like a 5-mile radius at this point. So, you know, that's made it good on gas. I have only used about a quarter tank since I've been here, so that's nice. This fry's right here. I stayed here last night getting ready to head to Starbucks. It's only a mile from this fries, so what I try to do is find like a location that's pretty close to Starbucks because I need the Wi-Fi, and that ends up working out pretty well for me. Thought I'd give you guys all like a update on my back. It's just uncomfortable but now sometimes, and a little painful when I haven't taken the muscle relaxer in a while, so it's healing up pretty good. I think the exercises have been helping, and then the muscle relaxers made a big difference right away, and now I'm down to where I'm taking 1, maybe 2 muscle relaxers a day, and taking ibuprofen a couple times a day just to make sure I keep the swelling down. The swelling is way down like in my leg, because when I first went to the orthopedist on it, my whole thigh was like numb, and then I had a sharp pain in my knee, and my hip was in pain in my low back was, and then if I did much on it, my whole back would get locked up. But now I'm waking up just fine, and you know, the inflammation is almost out of my thigh altogether. It had been pretty swollen right up around the hip, and it's pretty much almost gone. It's a little bit more swollen than the other leg, and certain positions feel a little more tender, but now I'm being able to pull my thigh all the way up towards my chest in one of the exercises without it hurting. It's a little uncomfortable when I pull it up all the way like that compared to the other leg, but it's gotten so much better. I mean, things are really looking up as far as that goes. Before I head into the Starbucks over here, I just thought I'd go ahead and tell you guys about a video that I had made quite a while ago that was strictly, completely just about stealth camping spots that I'd used while I was in Houston, living urbanly in Houston for like, I would say 2 or 3 months or something like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and as soon as this video ends, I'm gonna link it up into a little box when the outro's playing. It'll be in the top left. Get out there, connect with people, live your big story, and make sure you do something every single day to reduce world suck. Peace, guys.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell